Yo, what is up, guys? It's Gerald back at again with another video. I'm going to go over PayPal stock. They have obviously quarter 4 earnings on February 3rd in the pre-market. I'm going to go over the bull case, the bear case with this stock, any technicals the stock is providing, as well as the dark pool data here. So PayPal stock obviously has earnings on February 3rd. This is going to offer a potential earnings run up just because of how low the multiples have been trading, right? The stock is trading at a forward price to earnings of literally just 10.24 in a market where a lot of forward PEs are sitting anywhere between 30 plus to 60 plus, right? Forward PE of 10 offers a discount compared to not only its peers, but even its own history, right? This company boasts solid fundamentals. It has a 25% return on equity, an aggressive buyback program where they're cannibalizing their share count, as well as a newly instituted dividend, right? I think it's sitting roughly around 1%. So we'll see what changes in the dividend are going to be coming up for this upcoming earnings here. Obviously, between now and the past couple of months, there's been a lot of new news for this company in terms of a Deutsche Bank partnership for global merchant scaling, as well as Copilot checkout, all of which doesn't seem to be factored into the stock price currently. The market in Wall Street has pretty much taken a very bearish viewpoint of PayPal. Same thing with a lot of SaaS companies with fears of AI disrupting the company. Same thing with PayPal in terms of its numerous competitors. Looking at the multiples, I'm gonna go over whether I think a lot of it is factored in and whether or not fundamentals will play out over time for this stock here, right? So the investment thesis is quite simple for PayPal here. They have a nearly 33 billion trailing 12-month revenue, nearly 5 billion net income, and 15% net margins, right? So they power e-commerce, Venmo, Braintree, buy now, pay later, and they're even pivoting to crypto and AI payments, right? So a lot of the partners that we've been seeing with Google as well as OpenAI here, right? So the value opportunity mainly hinges off of where the stock is sitting at currently, right? Sitting at a price of roughly around 57. It's actually 56.62 now. It has a trailing PE of 11, forward PE of around 10 with a peg of 0.72. So with a peg of 0.72, the market's pretty much essentially factoring in negative growth for this company for the years ahead, right? Of course, looking at the intrinsic value and a lot of the margins of safety that comes into play here, we have intrinsic value sitting anywhere between $122 a share. Analysts are targeting about $77.42, which is about 36% away from current valuations, as well as the aggressive buyback, which is likely going to create a floor for this stock here. We're sitting around 57. Would not surprise me if we can get towards the 50 in a fully bearish scenario where the macroeconomics don't look well in the light of Greenland or new tariff talks that Trump's been talking about with Canada. We'll see how that pretty much factors into the stock price. But overall, very low valuations is going to provide a huge margin of safety as compared to other stocks in the market here, right? This is a quality fintech with durable cash flow, right? Return on equity of 25%, debt to equity of 0.56. So it's not a company that I'm concerned of if we go into an economic recession, if this company is able to withstand a lot of the pressures and survive or not, right? In terms of risk assessment, once again, we have downgrades from Citi at $60, Deutsche $65, all still higher than where we're currently sitting at, right? This is also a low beta stock, roughly around 1.43 with a solid, strong balance sheet. We went over the debt to equity ratio. This has a quick ratio of 1.34. They have a lot of institutional support and they've traditionally beat earnings, right? So we'll see how this plays out leading up into earnings. So looking at the dark pool data, it's been leaning heavily bearish with 461 million on the net outflow. But overall, looking at the past couple of days, we've been seeing higher than normal volume or trading, right? We had a 33 million potential buy or even sell sitting roughly around 55.08. Obviously, the stock since then has gone up. Of course, when someone sells, someone is also buying the stock here. This leads me to believe there's a lot more institutional buying rather than selling in the stock, right? So while it may look overly bearish, my viewpoint is sitting at these lower multiples, institutions are likely accumulating the stock here. I'm seeing a $33 million print in the stock here. That's 3% of the daily volume. And overall, we're seeing other volume sitting around 56, 89, and overall the stock's been pretty much stagnant from these areas, even higher from where this potential sell at 55.08 is, right? So looking at the dark pool data, this actually leads me towards more bullishness rather than bearishness here. Intrinsic value once again is at $97, so potentially 41% discount with the stock price here. RSI is looking better, previously at 30, now inflecting towards the upside. In terms of the MACD, looks like we're getting a bullish cross into the stock here. So if we can get some follow through leading up into earnings, that is your potential bullish momentum in the stock leading up into earnings here. My viewpoint is we recently on the technicals established a new low here, and that's what I like to see, right? That's that formation of a potential inverse head and shoulders that I like to look out for. Right, you take out the lows, the short-term traders to sell out of these positions, a lot of the impatient traders, the leverage traders and whatnot, only to take the stock up higher, right? That's the same thing that we saw previously with Envo, UNH, any stock really. It's a traditional emotional cycle of the stock market here, right? So looking at the RSI divergence that we saw that I marked out roughly about a week ago, seems to be playing out now, right? We established a new low in the stock, but since then has rebounded quite well. Obviously, we are still trading under this downtrend here, where this is a top line resistance. As we can see here, the stock needs to establish over roughly around this 57.3, 57.4 area to pretty much break this lower downtrend on the daily time frame here. Looking at the weekly time frame, we are in the low 30s, sitting in an RSI of 32.33. We've just printed out a green bullish candle here. We established a new low once again. Let's go over here, and you see that RSI divergence start to play out. So if we can break over this downtrend on the weekly time frame or in the daily time frame, that's going to potentially lead this RSI divergence to play out, potentially leaving room to the 63 or even to the 50 moving average towards $67 here. So that's my overview of PayPal leading up into earnings. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you guys are bullish on PayPal leading up into earnings, and happy investing, everybody. Take care.